Hi Zen fam! Okay, tonight's video. Are you ready for a rant? Because here comes a rant. This video is dedicated to my friend Wingy Gaming of his various lovely enterprises. Go look him up on tubes, on Twitter, all that shenanigans. Guy's a legend. Anyway, so much to talk about. Now, let's make one thing very clear for anybody new out there who is recently joined the Zen fam. I'm a PlayStation fan. Have been from the beginning, okay? I started on the OG original Model 1 PlayStation, the first SKU, okay? I had the original unit with all its various ports in the back that were all supposed to be future-proofed and over-engineered. Okay, I'm an OG. I'm 46. Okay, I've been gaming a long time. There's a lot of knowledge in this noodle. So when I say all this stuff about PlayStation, although some of it is annoyance, sorry, but it's annoyance because it's a rant, it comes from a place of love and it comes from a place of knowledge and understanding. I'm not saying this to tear a strip at Sony, but there are some things that just need a looking at, alright? So, let's get into this puppy. Right, first of all, most recently, Horizon Forbidden West. And the classic Jim Bryan doesn't know how to message to the players. Again. Right, Jim. Look, I know you're good at business. I know you're a business dude. That's what you do. But you are useless at communicating to us. Even to just, like, PlayStation fans who just, you know, buy a PS4 for a bit of FIFA, and they might pick up a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and they play a bit here and there. And then you get the nut jobs like me who just obsess and play everything we can get our hands on and follow the news and gobble up all the tasty bits of gossip. You know, I mean, hell, I've run a YouTube channel, you know. But it's like, you just don't know how to talk to us. You know how to talk to the FT. You possibly know how to talk to the big news media sites, but you don't know how to talk to us. So when you come out and say, oh, don't worry, like when Horizon Forbidden West comes out, there will be a free upgrade path. A free upgrade path, you say? Do you now? Oh, is that right? Aye, that's right. Apparently now, it's like you buy the PS4 version, it doesn't freely upgrade to the PlayStation 5 version. Oh, no, and it's first party, so it's perfectly feasible for it to do. It's not like there's a third party involved like EA, you know, going, actually, excuse me, we want our 10 quid. No. Sony's going, excuse me, we'd like a bit of extra money, please. And it's like, oh really? So there's that free upgrade path. So what's happened to that? And then here's the extra kicker. You buy one of the fancy versions, right, with the steelbook and your big mammoth statue and all the rest of it and all its extra gubbins. You know what you don't get? You don't get a disc. You spend the money for the physical version, but you don't get a disc. And I know what some of you are going to say, but Zenblock, we're in the digital age now. I'll tell you something though. You want to know which type of PlayStation sells the most? The physical disc version. Seriously, you look it up. The physical disc version of the PlayStation was the one that disappears the fastest whenever PlayStation 5s come to be bought. And it's the one that's most desired. And if ever you looked in any forums or whatever, when people are saying, what PlayStation are you wanting to get? Most of the people will be like, oh, I want a physical. And I have a physical. And the reason I have a physical is because I like physical games. Now, and the reason I like physical games is because I like to own the game. Then once I'm done owning the game, I then take the game and I trade it in so then I can get more games for less money. I know it's a ridiculous concept that I should be able to trade in my old stuff so I can get new stuff for slightly less. Who'd have thunk it? But you know, there is the whole thing of space and speed and all the rest of it. So I do recognise that there are advantages and disadvantages to both digital and physical, but I prefer digital, and a lot of people still do. Also, it's just nice to hold that game. That's your game, that you hold it, and there's a visceral pleasure to owning physical items, you know. That's just how it is. Okay, so they've made a mess thus far of Horizon Forbidden West. I keep trying to say not say Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Right, what else? Okay. Where, in the name of all that's holy, Sony, is a store from you that allows us to buy replacement and customised plates for the side of a PlayStation 5 instead of getting them from a third-party vendor, which you said all up, oh, we're going to sue you if you do that. It's like, and you did hand down the cease and desist to the first guys that did it, but you've never brought anything out. Where's the custom controller shop? The Xbox boys have been enjoying that for the longest time. They can go online, tootle this, push for that, and they have a personalised controller that looks exactly how they want it to look. And if they want to add extra gubbins to the inside of it, like a bigger battery or faster switches or touch paddles on the back, you know, like for, you know, if you're into that kind of thing of having the whole paddly bit on the back thing, great. You keep adding things, and money goes up, the money goes to them. Why aren't you doing that yet, Sony? Why are there so many third-party solutions? And not only third-party solutions, but either third-party solutions that you send away for it, and it comes to you, and it's costing you anywhere from 150 to 200 quid, or you send away for a kit, and then you have to hope to the gaming gods that when you build it, you don't knacker your controller. And let's face it, these controllers are no cheap. You know, I mean, they're a bit more expensive than the DualShock 4, I'll tell you that right now. And why did you make the battery so small? Why is the battery so small? What did we keep telling you through the PlayStation 4 generation? Bigger battery. Now, yes, okay. Now, the battery technically is a longer battery with a bigger life. But, you know, the only way to really get the most juice out of that battery is to turn off the haptics. And the haptics are part of the deal of the controller. It's like you know, giveth and taketh, giveth and taketh. You give us this, but you take it away with the other hand. It's like robbing Peter to feed Paul, as they say. Ridiculous state of affairs. It's like, and then even if you get to like some of the individual bits inside of the system, you know, I don't mind the idea of an expandable storage bay, but why was it not ready to go from day one? Why have we got a system that's been out for nearly a year? Because come November, the PlayStation 5 will have been out for a year, and we still only even have a beta program, a testing program for figuring out which SSDs can run in a PlayStation 5. You know, it's ridiculous. And then also, why is there no browser? We've had browsers, technically speaking, since the PS2. Okay, now admittedly that was mostly the American market and it was a thing you had to buy and slap on the back, but it could do it. We've had web-capable games consoles since the Dreamcast. Alright? Come on! And it's like, you know, the PlayStation 3's web browser, it was a bit jank, but it worked lovely. The one on the PS4 was a bit better. And I was expecting the one on the PS5 to be, you know, at least up to the spec of like a decent phone. I wasn't expecting like a full PC experience. That would be crazy talk, you know. But I thought be a wee bit of leeway, get a bit more stuff to happen, you know. But no, it's just like, no, you're not getting a browser. And it's like on the PS3 as well, we were able to do video chat conferencing. This is before Zoom, okay, before, you know, all the video chat options that we've ever had, you know. You used to be able to do video chat conferencing with like 3 or 4 people at a time in little bubbles on your screen on the PlayStation 3. I remember one time I had this lovely chat with a bloke from Australia. And like we were both in video chat together and just chatting it up a storm. And we were sending images back and forth and it didn't break the video call and it was all gorgeous and brilliant and lovely. You know, it's like you seem to have this thing, Sony, where you give us stuff and then we get to the next generation and instead of building on it, you take it away. I honestly, I don't understand your thinking sometimes, Sony. I really don't. I mean, you make awesome products. You make killer electronics. You were the kings, you know, of elegant electronic solutions. But you're also like the masters of like, oh, we don't need that anymore. And yet people go, but where's the thing? It happens so much. It's like you're like an Etch-a-Sketch. You sort of like come along and go, okay, we've got this, we'll add this, we'll put this in, we'll take this out, right, we've got the system. And then by the end of the PS4, it's like, you could look at it and go, right, that UI works really, really well, web browser's there, there's a YouTube app, that's right, there's a Twitch app, okay, we've got all these various apps, we've got all these bits and pieces, everything works lovely jubbly, new generation, new system, start again. Like, what? What are you about, Sony? I mean, I am a hardcore fan, and these things have to be said. It's like, for instance, this what I'm using right now to make this video, Share Factory Studio, okay? Now, you had Share Factory in the PlayStation 4, obviously didn't have anything like that PS3. So, PS4, Share Factory, PS5, Share Factory Studio. Do we have more tools? A bit. Do we have more stickers? A bit. It's like, is the green screen better? A bit. It's like, this is the 9th gen. This is a, you know, a liquid metal cooled 9th generation 4K system. You know? I mean, like, this camera I'm on, the HD PlayStation camera, right? It's only a tiny bit better than the PlayStation camera that sits right beside it that preceded it. Because yes, I still have my PS4. Okay? Now this green screen, you may notice that I look a little fuzzy around the edges here. And the reason it's a bit fuzzy around the edges is because my room is only so big, right? I mean, like, if I go right to the back wall here, this is me touching the wall now. You see how the arm is really fuzzing up now, okay, because the shadows I'm casting, right? My green screen literally goes to here, at the end of my middle finger, to here to the other end of my middle finger. I've got that much space to play with. So I have to really zoom in on myself, right? And because I've zoomed in on myself, on an HD camera, I'm still as fuzzy as I was on the previous camera. Now admittedly the colour balance is a little bit better, but here's the kicker, right? Here's the absolute kicker. Exact same setting screen, right? For all the camera stuff on PlayStation 5. Okay, all of it. So when I try and stream on my Twitch, which I've done now for a good number of years, when I stream on Twitch on PlayStation 5, guess what? I get green screen fog. Now, do you see any green screen fog here? No. And you know what? Exactly the same lighting setup, exactly the same green screen in exactly the same place. Yet last night I thought, okay, by now it must have fixed itself. Sony's done a few, you know, firmware updates over the last couple of months. You know. So surely by now the green screen must be behaving itself. You know what? Not only is it not behaving itself, it also wouldn't do my mic audio. And I added extra light and I was still getting fog. Sort it out, Sony. It's like, you know, PlayStation Plus. It's like you had a few months there where you were going great guns. You finally seem to be understanding the games that a lot of the gamers want from PlayStation Plus. And all of a sudden you just pulled out a complete left turn. And we've had a couple of months now where this has been absolute garbage. Absolute garbage in the selection. Now on one hand I'm kind of going, well, it frees up a bit of space on the hard drive because I don't have to save that down. But I'm going like, but you know, I've kind of paid for these games. Now admittedly there are people out there who are going to love some of these games. You can't please all the people all the time. But it's sort of like, you figure you try and be a bit more wide in the mark, try and hit up things that more gamers are going to love. You know, do a little bit of research. It's like, and why in 2021 do we have a YouTube app that you can't do comments with? You want to explain that to me, Sony? How can you have a YouTube app that you can't write comments on the videos with? Now, yeah, okay, writing comments is a bit beep, 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 or scan around the touchpad, you know, to connect the letters together. That, you know, both of those typing methods are not perfect. In fact, the second one's kind of ripped off from mobile phones. But at least, you know, it's a typing method. But on PlayStation, if you watch a video on YouTube, can't do that. Can't do that at all. It's like you can't even open up the description to read anything about the video. It's just like, it's such a gimped app. Ungimp it. And going back to Share Factory and its integration with YouTube, why in the name that all that's holy, right, can I not chuck in my thumbnails from Share Factory along with the download file straight into my YouTube upload, so then my thumbnail and my video can be happen at the same time? Because you know what I have to do at the minute? I make the thumbnail on my phone, right, because I've got really great little tools for making thumbnails. Maybe someday I'll do a how-to video, but it's not really gaming, so I don't know if I can get away with it. Right, but I have a really good tool on my phone. That's where I make most of my YouTube video, most of my thumbnails, and it's also where I make a lot of the works for my Redbubble store. Okay, I have to load that thumbnail onto Dropbox, okay, and then when I go to make my YouTube videos on my computer, I have to send the file to YouTube or to its servers, send it as an unlisted video. It pops up eventually. You know, it's like all the speed, all this stuff, and I'm paying for really good internet here, and it takes forever. I mean, I'm not joking, right? It's like I can sit here in my house and I can watch a movie, a full movie, an HD movie, with no buffering or anything like that. But I try and send a wee video to YouTube, it could be like an 8-minute video. It can take, and I kid you not, 20 minutes to process into YouTube server. And half of that is it getting from my PlayStation to YouTube. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, so like, why can't I not just send everything in a oneer? And why, when I put like tags in the description on Share Factory Studio before as I send the video, if I do that or I overdo it, it crashes the video. It won't send it. So I have to leave that field blank and then add those descriptive tags in the video description on the YouTube itself within the video within the my video section, as I am adding the annotations and such. It's just a mess. It's an absolute mess. And I could go on and on and on about the things that Sony just doesn't seem to get through its thick skull. It's like, you know, if you're gonna do, you know, like a state of play, then do something other than show us a bunch of gameplay trailers. Show us actual gameplay. Okay? And if you're gonna do, you've been doing it a bit better when you've said, this one coming up is going to be all indies. This one coming up is going to be this. And even with that, you do meet the fanboys, and the fanboys are out there going, "Oh, we want this thing," and you've said, "Well, this." So I get you're trying, but you are far from perfect. Far from perfect. Also, please, I'm begging you, Sony, come back to E3. We need you. These last 3 E3s where you haven't attended, my God, it's been dry. And this last E3, this all digital E3 we went through, where you weren't there, oh God, we needed you there. Because you had some pizzazz to the thing. I mean, even if you're not a PlayStation fan, and I know some of you out there are, but you have to admit, even if you don't like PlayStation, they put on a show, those boys. They really do. Although admittedly, I don't know how you're going to put on a show with Jim Ryan at the helm. You know, I mean, honest to God, the man's like watching paint dry. I mean, I've watched him talk at like in interviews and stuff, and sometimes he stepped on the stage at CES to like promote a product. I mean, honest to God, it's like asking for a mug of tea and you get a mug of sawdust. It's horrible. It's terrible. The man shouldn't be anywhere near media exposure. You know, I don't know whose idea it was to put him on front of a camera ever. But then, of course, we lost Sean Layden. You know, we lost Jack Tretton. You know, we lost Andrew House. We never see Mark Cerny. They shipped Shu off to do an indies. Shu was amazing. It's like, can't have Kevin Butler because he used the Kevin Butler character to advertise for Bridgestone tyres, so Sony gave him the boot. It's just, I don't get it. You know, it's like, I understand that you had to push the games up to 70 quid. I understand that, you know, because the games have become more expensive to make, you know, and you've got to have that back end to pay for the system. But apparently now the PlayStation isn't losing money anymore, so that's good. But it's like, it still doesn't feel quite like PlayStation games have really taken that leap forward. Now, don't get me wrong, I've played Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and I've got the PlayStation 5 version of Watch Dogs Legion, and they are very pretty, and especially Ratchet & Clank does some incredible things with that DualSense. I mean, the way it feels in your hand, and the way the controls are, and the sound, it's gorgeous. It really is. I mean, I have the Pulse 3D headset, and it's a beautiful headset with incredible sound. You know, that's one thing you guys do really well. You do beautiful sound. And this generation, you've just excelled yourselves. It's brilliant what you're doing with sound. But again and again and again and again, it's how you talk to us that's not sounding so good. You know? You mix your messages, you forget things you've said in the past. It's like, look, Microsoft is doing things that you are not, and you're losing market share because of it. Okay? They're doing design your own controllers. You're not. You could do that. You could do that with the skins. They don't have like replaceable panels. You could do that with replaceable panels. You could bring out all kinds of panels, you know, or even customize your own panels. Go online, you know, pick some designs or upload designs to go printed on the side of the panel. Ship that out, you know, for minimal outlay, you know, to print a design on the side of a panel. I mean, it's probably even just be the case that like you could print it as a decal, whack it on the side, ship it out, you know, and you could make some serious dough on that, you know, and people wouldn't mind because they'd be able to customise their PlayStation 5. Because a lot of people like to have their PlayStation 5 upwards. And if you can have artwork on the sides of that puppy, people would pay for that. People would pay for their controllers to be all, whoa, look at that. I mean, I've put up on Twitter many times about how I want my controller to look. You know, what I wish for this puppy is I would love dearly, right, if this puppy was like the original PlayStation Grey, okay? That the sacred symbols were the original sort of, you know, the rainbow colours. It's like for the PlayStation button to be like the rainbow version of the PlayStation logo, like we're all used to it being. And I want my channel logo right here on the touchpad. You know, but not the black on white, but actually like as a transparent PNG, if you will. So it's literally just the black logo, but with the grey coming through. Yeah. Also, I'd love a bigger battery, but you know, we've all we PlayStation fans, we're always wanting a bigger battery. God. But you know, one thing that would have been really good. What would have been really, really good? A couple more USB ports on the machine. Seriously, because I mean, like, if you've got the camera, okay, you've got the charge port for the controller, right? And generally, I've got two charge ports rocking for controllers, but admittedly, the other one is kind of like for other stuff. It's like you begin to run out of space to do things. So you need to get on with getting on with that memory expansion. You need to sort out the speed of your network. You need to actually get some games out because, you know, as much as I love you, it has to be said that there are not enough games out yet. Now hopefully next week on Thursday you're going to actually show us some new stuff that we can actually go, that's coming, we can get excited about that. Now, this isn't for like, oh, look at the exclusives we have, Microsoft. We have more exclusives than you. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I just want to be able to go, hey, look at this cool stuff we got coming. Isn't that neat? You know? Also, it's like, I don't know, it's like you've lost yourselves. When you were PlayStation 4, at the beginning of PlayStation 4, you were hungry. You wanted it. You fought for it. You came out swinging, going, Nadia, swap your games with your pals. Go for it. And then sort of like, slowly but surely, you've sort of stepped back from that. And you've taken a much more corporate approach. You've become less about the players and more about the shareholders. And it's not going to suit you well for long. You know, eventually, right, you're going to get to a point where PlayStations are not going to be rare as hen's teeth. You're going to have enough of them out there, and the hype will die down. And once that hype has died down, then you're going to have to rely upon positive word of mouth. And with a lot of the things you've been pulling over the last 2-3 years, you're not going to be able to continue on that path of positive word of mouth unless you get your finger out. But the system is awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my PS5. I'd like to see some details on PSVR 2. I don't believe there's any need for a new handheld. I really don't. I think handhelds for Sony are a done deal. It was tried twice, well, 2.5 times if you count the PlayStation Ericsson phone thing that was like with the little, that was like the PSP Go. Now we've been there, we've done that. It doesn't work. Your own brand, as I've said a couple of videos ago, your own brand of SSD to go in the machine so we know it works would be wonderful. Even if it is a wee bit more expensive. It's like, but you know the biggest thing you could do, Sony? one of the biggest things you could do for us, the customers, actually give us a better way to talk to you. I mean, seriously, I don't know what it's like in most other parts of the globe, but see here, right? See here, for me, living here in Scotland, in the so-called United Kingdom, alright? If I have a query about PlayStation, I've got to get on the phone, alright? And you have licensed out the customer care to another company, and that company does not give monkeys. Alright? Now, I have spoken with people who have worked for that company in silence and stuff. There's, I'm not giving any names or anything, but I've known people across the years who have worked in the call centres that your third-party company has run. Not you, but you should know that the third-party company that you've set up to run your call centres isn't doing the job it's supposed to be doing. I've heard of cases from reliable sources where people have been sat down and they've watched a 10 to 15 minute video on brand new products like the PlayStation VR. And then all of a sudden, because they've watched a 10 to 15 minute video, they are now qualified, get this, to then be a spokesperson and a guru for PlayStation VR problems on the phone line. Really? Is that really the standard that you want? I was told by one of the PS employees a couple of years ago, I think it was, that, because you meet people in this game, you go to conventions, people talk to you. Because they go, hey, that's that bloke from YouTube. And you get talking with these people and they tell you things. And one of the things they tell you is that apparently there's supposed to be like a library of games that can be borrowed for a short while. So then you can play the games. So then, you have an idea of the product. That's a Sony thing. They like to have their representatives be able to talk about the products. Except all the games that are supposed to be in the library aren't there. No. Management have them. Sometimes the management sell them. Apparently. Now, can't confirm all this because I was never in these places. But I tell you, the companies that run these phone lines for Sony, they get up to some really shady stuff. And it's like, they take our money for, premium rate numbers. You ring a premium rate number and you could be on the phone for anywhere from 10 to 30 to 45 minutes sometimes trying to get through to ask questions about people, just average workers like you and me, who maybe have just a teeny bit more data than we have. Basically, most of what they know is on an A4 sheet of paper in front of them, or they have a small amount of Googling they can do, but really, they don't know much more, and they can't really help. That's why whenever somebody gets their account suspended, that poor person on the other end of the phone in that call centre can't really do much for them. They have no authority, they have no ability, they have very little training. It's basically get on the phone and talk to the person. Do you know, right, in these call centres, and this is a thing for all call centres, right, you'll very rarely get your problem solved in one phone call. And if it looks like they're going to solve it in one phone call, the phone call magically ends while you're on hold. You're just all of a sudden disconnected. I bet that's happened to a lot of you out there. You've been on hold and you've been disconnected. And then you have to ring up again. And then you have to go through the whole process again. And you have to tell the next person everything all over again. And the reason for this is they want you to ring back, because then that's another call. They want you on the phone 2-3 times if possible, because it's more money in their bank account, because it's a premium rate number. And then there used to be the case that we used to be able to talk to Sony either through the forums on the official PlayStation website, and there was also, within that, there was a live chat help box. And they removed the forums a couple of years ago, which was a shame because they were always a lively hub of discussion. Even if it was just gamers talking to other gamers, sometimes we could tell each other stuff, you know, that we found out and we noticed. That got put away. Then there was the live chat. We could actually talk to somebody from Sony. And it didn't cost anything. It was great. You know, you type in your inquiry, or type in your inquiry, whichever you like, and you were great. You could ask the questions. A little bit later, you'd get the answer back, you know. And it didn't matter if you forgot some of the information because it was on your phone. You could screenshot it and then follow it back later. It was all great. They took that away. And they took that away because they weren't making money on it. It's like, never mind, you know, that we pay all this money for PlayStation Plus. Never mind that we spend all this money on the system. Never mind we spend all this money on the actual games. Never mind, there's even, like, you know, additional things like PlayStation View and all the rest of it. All the other additional services. It's like for the gamers. For the gamers now, is it? I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to sound like I actually dislike Sony, and I don't. I really do like what PlayStation do. But there are things that just really, really, really eat my lunch. So, this is a PlayStation guy saying these things about PlayStation. Okay? I'm not some, you know, rando off the street. I've got experience going back years. I've got, you know, a lot of great, positive, wonderful experiences with PlayStation that I could rattle off, and have rattled off in past videos, you know. But there is stuff that needs to get sorted. So I just wanted to be upfront and honest with people. When I've said in videos gone by, in days gone by, that if there is a problem with Sony, then I will speak on a problem with Sony. If there's a problem on Microsoft, I will speak on a problem with Microsoft. If there's a problem with Nintendo, I will speak on that problem with Nintendo. And that's what you get here. You get honest opinion and fact. Okay? Mentally, sometimes it could be a little bit speculation, but I try to stay in the truth zone. Okay? Oh god, this has been a long video. I must be knocking close to 40 minutes here, boys and girls. Oh dear god. Right, before I let you go, a couple of things I need to mention. I'm thinking about the end of the month of doing a live Q&A, so if you fancy that, let me know. Still looking for other small time Scottish gaming YouTubers to do more episodes of hashtag support Scottish YouTubers. What else? I was wondering if you guys want to see any videos about how I make stuff for the channel. You know, like how I make thumbnails, how I actually set up my, you know, my studio. God, I did air quotes. Oh dear. Oh, I did air quotes. Unclean. You know. Yeah. I think I've said everything I need to say tonight, and I'm sorry I took so much of your time. Hopefully I was at least somewhat entertaining to you. Anyway, you know the drill by now. Hashtag support Scottish YouTubers. And of course, as always, aye, nae bother.